In today's episode, exception request? You got it. We're creating an hourly bank now? Sure, go for it. The end to a free decade of Netflix. So let's get started. Exception request? You got it. I work for a major company in the US, and this company handles accounts for many different businesses. In my previous function, I was partially charged based. With one of our transaction types, known as an exception request, if you submit for it per company policy, this removes everyone on the profile able to make changes and puts this new person in as the only one able to make changes. Note, these changes cannot be rolled back and has to be done manually. Normally this isn't a big problem if the person submits their requests right, but not everyone is competent enough or cares to read policies to determine if what they're submitting for is exactly what they need. Well, these agents who chat in are often extremely unresponsive. I have a habit of asking, was your request submitted the correct way, and this exception is what you want, and they next to never reply. On numerous times, sometimes even by the same people, they would submit this exception request. I ask if they're sure and get no answer. Well, we are told to continue forward unless they specifically say no. So I process their request exactly as they submitted. They'll oftentimes come back and be like, OMG, I did not tell you to remove anyone, and I say you didn't, but your request type was an exception, and per this policy this is what happens. Sometimes I get them asking me to undo what I did and explain to them they would have to provide contact details for the removed individuals, and I'll add them bad, and they usually disconnect chat right after it happens. The best example of this is a profile that had several hundred people in the removed roles. Agent chats in and form is submitted as exception request. I confirm it was submitted right, this one says yes. Perfect. I get into the flow, delete everyone and put this one person on. While I'm doing all of it, they're asking me what's taking so long, and I advise them system latency. After I finished what I was doing, asked them to refresh, and the dude started typing, then stopped, then started again. Next thing I know, I'm bombarded with a message just chewing me out and asking if I know what the hell I'm doing. I said yes, and I asked you if you submitted your request correctly, to which you said yes. He loses it on my telling me I need to undo what I just did, to which I asked him for the names, emails, phone numbers, and roles for everyone just removed, and he loses it again, typing in all caps, how the hell am I going to give you all that? That's almost 200 people you removed. I said yes, removed because of your submitted request that you confirmed is correct, so if you provide the details I can add them back, but letting you know adding people takes substantially longer than removing and replacing, and I have to keep you in chat while I work on this. The guy replies back saying I wasted his time, and I'm the reason that we'll lose this large account. The whole time this is going on, my manager is behind me watching because I'm hysterically laughing over it. I showed him what was said, what the request was, what I did, and the agent's information in the company directory. Sent it to him via email for CYA. Sure enough, a couple hours later I'm pulled into a meeting with my manager for a formal meeting because a complaint was lodged from the customer. We reviewed the chat, reviewed everything I did, and that was discussed between the agent and myself. It was found I was 100% in the clear all because of that one question at the beginning asking if they submitted their request correctly. We're creating an hourly bank now? Sure, go for it. For some context, I work in an hotel. For those who have worked in this field or are currently in it, you know what I mean when I say we don't exactly have schedules. For those who haven't, stick with me and you'll know what I mean. So, I've always been the helpful kind of employee. You need a new menu done? Canva and go. Someone to welcome the guests and take them to their rooms? Sure. I only don't drive, and only because I didn't take my permit yet. Different country, different laws, etc. So, even though I am a receptionist, I do pretty much anything that needs to be done. Even though it's a small hotel, not even 30 rooms, helping with everything and still caring for you position do take a lot of time, which means I usually stay overtime. And also, if a co-worker feels sick, they also know I'm the one to call. Happened before. So, the day before yesterday, our chef suggested me and my morning co-worker leave, because the afternoon receptionists had arrived already, so we could keep social distancing and limit the amount of people doing nothing. She said she had already talked to the boss, and he had allowed it, so we left. The next morning, yesterday, we started reading the previous messages to catch up, and caught this exact chef telling our boss that she had released us early so we would owe them our credit. The thing is, there has never been such a thing in there, since the afternoon co-worker, and I usually stay past our time, or come up early because some other employees do not respect their schedule. Also, I always show up when needed, and am always available through text messages to clarify and help with whatever situations happen. So yesterday afternoon she started the same conversation, texting us and suggesting we left early so there wouldn't be too many people in there. My colleague agreed. I simply didn't. I said I was saving my hour credits for when I actually needed them, and, since she is not the boss, she can't actually force me to leave, so she didn't. But she also hates when people disobey her, and my coworker said, I was taking my break when it happened, she was screeching, madder than he's ever seen her. And I still stayed until 3:30 p.m. I usually leave at 4 p.m., and only left half an hour early because I was bored and my boyfriend suggested we meet, and, since his schedule is also chaos, I wouldn't let that chance slip. And I'll keep doing that. You want me to leave early so I owe our credit? No thank you, I'd rather stay and find something useful to do because, you know, I love being here, it contains sarcasm. The end to a free decade of Netflix. Between 8 and 10 years ago, I received an email welcoming me to Netflix. That was a bit concerning since I hadn't signed up, so I contacted the company. They told me someone must have accidentally used my email when they created an account. Our last names were the same and our first initial. I said, oh no problem, you must have additional contact information for them besides my email. Could you please remove my email from the account and let them know so they can fix? Well, immediately that was a big problem for Netflix, and well, no, they couldn't remove the email because it was the only one they had for the account, and how did they even know that it was mine? I said, give me your email address and start talking, I will email you the words as they come out of your mouth. That wasn't good enough for proof somehow. More likely I was in the other person's Gmail account asking to not have Netflix. What they finally ended up doing was changing the account password so that when the customer went to log back and they wouldn't be able to and would need to do a password reset by calling Netflix, and then they would confirm the email address. I kept getting Netflix emails, so that didn't work. I called again, same again, didn't work. I changed the password several times myself because I could use the forgot password function and get an email to reset it, that didn't work. I don't know how they kept getting the new password without updating an email address, and I didn't really care at this point. For the last 8 to 10 years I have had Netflix on everything I own. I have signed in on hotel televisions, used it on my phone, my Spoxes, my kid uses it. I only ever signed in under family and told him to do the same. The entire history in family is us. The other logins, Fred, Softy, and Lila, accumulated history. I would occasionally look because, curious. Never did a single new show appear in the family watch history that wasn't because of me. Well, I woke up this morning to an email from Netflix telling me that this email address was no longer associated with that account, and if I had any questions, etc. Thank you, Softy. It has been an amazing run, and I am not sure why you gave me free Netflix for the last decade, but I think you are amazing. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.